I see it. Okay, we're going to be doing part 2 of painting this birdie. In the meantime, I'll wait for some more people to come on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I hope the volume is good and we get going on this. Whoops, there it goes. The little crown cap just went flying, but I got it. I got it. Some of the tools we'll be using. Okay, for newbies out there, I'm using the Custom Micron SB side bottle. Okay, and it is a really fine instrument. I mean, there's better focus there. So, side cups out of your way. I probably am going to be ordering at least a new nozzle. Whoops. And a needle. I had this refurbished, but I think the super fine detail could come from the new nozzle. I might need a head assembly, but I'm going to talk to Coast Airbrush. It's really just got a nick in it, but talk to them about the beeswax and all the stuff you have to do when once you take off that head assembly with the older. Anyway, that's the airbrush I'm using, and the paints I'm using is Createx illustration colors. I had a person asking me about, that's the little eraser there to hold the bottle down for when I do my ads, because I lay the desk flat. Anyway, this is great paint. It is formulated by Createx, of course. It's used for the Drew Blair's color buffer method. I had someone had a comment on my YouTube video. I don't remember who it was, but anyway, it was about teaching how to mix the colors. A really nice compliment too about my color matching and what have you. I will teach basic color theory, like, for example, the opposite of blue is orange, that kind of a thing. This color here and this color there are opposites, opposing colors, right? And then you've got yellow, violet, and then you've got blue, and of course the three. Red, I'm sorry, this is the opposite of blue, but at the same time we've got red, yellow, and the blue are primaries. So you go online and just do some research on basics. It's all over the internet as far as that, or a book or whatever, and start to mess around with mixtures, mixing your colors. If you want to mix colors, like I'm a practicing photorealism guy. I'm not there, and I don't know if I ever will get there, but I love it, and so I'm only going to get better at what I do. I'm not going to, that's for sure. But having said that, if you really want to do target colors, which would be exact mixtures of these colors, let me find my color reference here. It's back here. Okay, so we have a color reference. Okay, I'll move some of these bottles, but I'm not going to teach the color buffer method, because Drew Blair teaches that through his, classrooms and through his, it's involved too. It's very involved. And I'll be the first to tell you, I am just a student, learning how to do it. And I tell you what, I put some hours in and I've gotten a lot closer as far as matching colors. But I will not teach that. And maybe privately or something, I have his permission to do something like that where I'm going to be paid for it. But right now, this is a free channel, and that is too involved anyway. To make that color exact, you have to get his course, or you have to be really knowledgeable of color from, different people are really good at color, and they just know how to match, and you need the basics. So get yourself a color wheel. I will show you because he gave me permission. Hold on one second. Drew Blair is a photorealist out of an art teacher. He has all kinds of art schools. I think at 3 or 4 now, and he's out of North Carolina, Charleston. This is a color wheel that he uses that we all can use, but the kit. This is what comes in the kit. Okay, that's your large color wheel, and then you'll get the color wheel that is the strip here. That's 5 color wheels. So that's the one I just showed you. Okay, so when you purchase the kit, I highly recommend you get it. I mean, I highly recommend it. If you want to save like years of, even if you don't want to do photorealism, but you want to nail down colors and just get really, really knowledgeable about color, go on the journey with them because it's not an expensive thing. I think I paid 2.25. Don't hold me to that. Go to Blair School of Realism. I bought mine a few years ago, but something like that. It might have been 285. I don't remember. But for the investment that you put in it, you'll get so much knowledge and so much better if you practice it. If you don't practice what he's showing you, you're going to be kind of wasting your time. These different lighter value, a little darker, true values of the color wheel you think of all the time, and then they get darker and darker until you get into your brown world, the umbers and sepias and things like that. So the thing is, this is the strip that you'll get in it. You'll get I think somewhere around probably well over an hour of instruction, in depth, wonderful demonstrations, and the whole 9 yards. He sells classroom in a box kits. So then you could look on to getting all the other kits, or 1 or 2 of the other kits. It could be the female portrait, or it could be a skull with flaming, fire coming off of it. The tiger, how to paint the tiger. And you go on to Blair School of Realism and go on to the supply section, and you'll see or classroom in a box section, and you'll see supplies. You get yourself some wonderful stencils that are very strong and durable, excellent. I mean, as far as on the money and the precision and the texture and the things that he puts in his real paintings. I used to go to his school back in the day down in North Carolina, and let me tell you, he did all the erasing and the techniques to get the textures that he now is putting into the form of the 5 skin stencil, which is excellent because it has 5 different textures of skin, and it has wonderful little things like fine lines, curves. I've showed this before, but who knows who's gonna watch the video down the road, right? A live video. And then the French curve, little extras on there. Whoops. And then I just got one of the newest ones that I purchased was right here. This one comes with the tiger kit. This one here can lend itself really wonderful to, okay, so let's put this off to the side. So I'm not really teaching this. I am not teaching it at all, really. I'm explaining to you. People have complimented me on my color mixtures, and I credit it to this course and to knowing the stuff that Drew has taught. And then you own that on you get it through the email, and you own it for the rest of your life, and you can go over it and over it. But this stencil can give you all kinds of wonderful little texture. This is from the Tiger. Hi guys, Stuart. Good morning, Stuart, over there in Australia. Roy, Grumpy, RC Flyer. Hello. Okay, so whoever else is on here too, hello and welcome to the channel. So don't forget to if you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to do my live feeds on YouTube. They're Tuesdays usually on Facebook. It's been all you guys now. Facebook's horrible. The it's Facebook in the sense of having a good connection. It's not my internet. It's there. Something's wrong. I used to do it all the time on there. And anyway, I want to devote more time to my channel. So, but if you look on this one picture here, there's a little notes on there from my type of thing that I'm doing. But if you look real close at the super details and the speckles, and you look at the stencil, you know, you've got it there. You can utilize that. Make it down to pretty small little dots there. All right, and right down to making the eye. So say an eye straight at you, you would find like a human or whatever, bird, animal. You would find the positive and block it. Now you could paint, say, around that eye because you're protecting it. And then you would go to the inner part, which probably would be this one, yeah. Pin it down. Oh, it's very thin and it falls right in place. And then you could spray your outer part of your eye there, your color. Okay, so, and it's funny, I'm mentioning this about color theory and stuff. Let me put this kit away because I don't want nothing to happen to it. So the kit comes with this, and then they have the ones with the bottles of paint in it, 2 ounces or partial 2 ounces, whatever you need. It comes either complete where you'll get everything, meaning you don't have any paints at home, or you don't have every paint that he's going to do, say the tiger painting and that painting a cherry, you know, how to paint a cherry. And I mean in depth where you could see the speckles inside and how do you do the layers, how do you do that kind of stuff. But highly recommend it. Highly recommend all of his Classroom in a Box series, and I think he's up in the 30s now as far as the amount he has. Don't hold me to that either, but check it out and do the color theory first. Unless you're really been to his school or you or really got the color down to a science, that's great. Then just go for it. But otherwise, do the color theory in a box first. And you won't regret it. You will not regret it because, first of all, this paint is made to go along with the synthetic paper. Okay, this is a 5x7, and it's synthetic paper. It's double-sided, so you could do a painting on the back, too. Or if you mess up really bad and damage it or something, you got the other side. Okay, so I'm going to move my paints over to the sideline. I'm going to get right busy now with probably, what was I going? I'm going to do the out of focus background. Okay, so we started it very little last week. Matter of fact, you guys saw it where it was just this color, and then I said I gotta match that color closer, you know, which really and truly is a little lighter with the bigger photograph. That's what I'm going for, but my own interpretation. I like maybe a little more brightness, so I'm going to take my dark green now, and I have it pre-mixed. As soon as you put, you'll learn this with Drew's course, as soon as you put white into any transparent color, white is opaque, you're going to start getting a color that will not exceed the hue that you bring it to. as opposed to transparents. It's all in the course. Will get darker and darker. So this is a safety net that I cannot spray this green past that color right there because I mixed it. And I mixed it, and I have it all saved out here in a little solo cup. And now I'm going to put a little bit of 4021 reducer. Okay, so let's see. Morning, Roy. Morning. Well, I'm on the East Coast. You know what time it is. You know what time it is here. I was a couple minutes late, too, because I was doing something, and I looked at the clock and went, oh, whoa. So, anyway, and I mean only a couple minutes, but okay, so I'm just going to stir my paint. I can go like that on a flat surface, and you could stir it, or you could get a paintbrush and stir it. And then I'll just put a very little amount into the airbrush because you don't want to really fill that up too much. It could spill on your painting. Lots of different things can happen. Then I'm going to put a piece of paper and put the paint off to the side. I'm going to be talking like I'm talking to a newbie, okay? I know you guys, if you've watched me before, I want to try to remember the beginner, the very beginner, the guy that's just got an airbrush or maybe is thinking of getting one. So that's what my mindset is on there to get a little bit of brand new. Like when I was first learning, I didn't even know what this gun was. I knew what a t-shirt gun was. It's Pache VL, or orange handle, red handle, whatever it was. And it was made for painting t-shirts. I started in 1983, and I really didn't get just testing it here on the side, right on the paper. That's a piece of paper there. So you could, anyway, let me finish what I'm saying. I started in 83. I had no education, and then I got some videos, which were VHSs. Yes, I'm old. And greats were out there like Terry Hill, whom we lost recently. And other great ones, Steve Driscoll. Unfortunately, we lost him too. And there's others, Mike LaValle. I didn't really learn a lot from Mike because I was focusing on. I've seen his videos and stuff, and I've just watched him paint, and I've seen him on with the Chip Foos and all those guys. But when we've got people that are fantastic. And they're still with us. And I wish all those guys that I just said were still with us. Take advantage of them. They're with us. We'll take advantage of everyone we know and love, right? Because they're with us. And that's beautiful. But in the meantime, Drew Blair is still teaching down there. And he's got all kinds of plans to, like I said, he's opening all kinds of schools and stuff. So I'm just going to dust in circular motions here. I should have the positive. I'm not seeing where I put the positive. Here it is. The positive just helps me not mess up my my painting here. So I'm going to just line this up, mainly just focusing on the left side. Whoops. I'm not caring about if it lines up perfectly. Having magnets and a background like that is going to be coming because I'm missing out on that freedom instead of taping things down and all. So I like this background. I'm going to get real dark by his body there. But I didn't start learning really color theory or anything until we got into the 90s. So I was doing a lot of stuff in the sign business, and I just was learning from the videos, I guess you could say. And I did learn too, but it was limited, Finally, I went to some airbrush, little seminars and stuff, and that's where I met Drew, and the rest is history. I've stayed at his house. I mean, he's invited me down after I had my car accident, me and my wife. And then I went back with some of my students. I had a school, and my students and I went, one girl went back with me. Okay, that's pretty much what this one is. You know, it's just circular, far, probably about 4 or 5 inches away because of the size of this painting. And I can always go over this and take a little more transparent color and brighten that a little more. But I think it's nice. It's got to be dark around his body, and that's what I like, the look of that. Okay, so now I'm going to go and that's good too because we just emptied out. Hello there, Bobby. Welcome on board. I have an old piece, and I say old now because it's been damaged by me. I think I painted the Aurora Borealis on this, and unfortunately, I might have cut into the paper. It's got some little grooves in there, and I mean, I could probably paint something like a sunset on here. This is not a throwaway, but as far as a brand new piece, it's definitely not. So I was using it for testing. I was testing how to do, like I said, I'm still learning myself, and how to do the feathers. Like if you really look at these down here. I'll point with the dowel. Look at those down in there. Okay, they are, I mean, you talk about details. And I have a tiny painting here. By the way, I'm going to rework the beak. I got messed up somehow and I started to touch it up and I got into the wrong dull colors. I can work on that later. You saw how I painted this much, and I'm gonna rework the beak, but I'm not gonna do that on a video. You just watch the other video and you'll see how I painted it. Uh, but yeah, so the details in here, like that fine line right there, you know, that could get put in by. I have a stencil from his, and I'm saying his. There's other people that sell stencils, and I have other companies, Art Tool, and there's different guys out there. But when you use this hair stencil, you can make them. I'll go in the dark area. Okay, as wide as I open that is as wide, and that's open. This right here, this one, that's closed. Now, if I just pull it open a little bit like that, and as long as you can see that darkness, you're going to get a hairline. So that would be executed with this, where you would find the shape, the curve, and you would come in here and find it, and then you would bring it together till it's a thin line and whisper it in. If you're good enough to, if you're able to do lines that thin, hats off to you. For me, I'll use the stencil. The stencil will not be something that you'll go, oh, you're using stencils to do your artwork. It's like, well, how do you hide a stencil? How do you use a stencil until you're done? Like, how do you use the eye stencil? Okay, this is just for the eyelashes, but this is just one of the stencils you can get. You can actually get the iris from him. That's all different irises. But the thing is, you got to make it not look like a stencil when you're done. You got to know how to use this as a template and then whisper shading into it and bury it. Eyelashes can get dark and very translucent towards the end. So you got to have the magic of control and knowledge. Your reference picture has all your answers in it, okay? Whether it's the eye, and you look at that eye with all those little dots in there, and the edges are really important. If you show the edge to look like a stencil, then it's going to look like a stencil. Back and forth, back like the whiter color. I'll be killing the edge, making the edge soft, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's do the pupils. I hunted and hunted, and I found in my green, the typical ones you get, they're thicker, so I don't like it for that for that reason. They're definitely a thicker cut. So hopefully it will be good. But I found the left eye, his right eye, and I found that this was round. This was more round. So I'm going to put that on there. I already drew it in, and I'm going to paint it right now with the black. Okay, so let me get some black. Behind me I gave a little tour of the studio, I think last live or the one before that. And I did another live. If you go on, you'll see a tour of my studio and how I set up. I'm like in a little chair here at the desk, and I have trays around me that I can reach for everything, and a cart that has swinging doors. And so I'm kind of surrounded by my tools that I need. And right now, okay, I'm going to put the black, again, I'm going to think more about the newbies. I'm going to put the black in. Don't forget to agitate it and really shake it up. That's pretty thin, right? And I don't need a lot, but I'm going to put one drop of the reducer, the new reducer by Createx. I wrote on the bottle because I bought the big bottle, so I took a little bottle and used it, but I bought the 16 ounce. Okay, so yeah, you have to really bring the magic, like JC is saying. You have to go from soft control of your airbrush, right? Speaking to the newbies, the guys that paint all the time know this. And you have to hide lines, and you just like drawing when you're drawing. I could do a video of a portrait, and I could show it to be like a black and white airbrush look by blending and using paintbrushes. I'm talking about, graphite. And I could take it's what you do in the world of like animation. They'll say hide the line, or Disney's kill the line. Get rid of the line. Come up to the line and hide the line. And pay attention to the edge. The edge is what really is going to make a difference. Okay, so I got the black in there. And test this. It's still green. I guess I didn't get rid of it. Wow, I had a lot of green in there. And I still do. I guess I just picked up the gun and didn't realize. There's the black. Okay, guys, here we go. If I'm off registration, I'm going to have a problem. So, like I said, this stencil is thicker. I don't like that. I like paper thin. Okay, so you can see the tape there. Oh, got to drop it. That's too low of air. When you get too low air, you get a lot of speckles and doesn't atomize right. But if you get too much air, I'm turning the volume down by the MAC valve. The air pressure set probably somewhere around 30, 25. I like spraying with a little higher pressure for certain things, getting that old dagger stroke going and what have you. I'm lining up to my pencil line, and I'm going to just kind of pump stroke it in there. It's all protected. And now I'm going to just get a little darker. Make sure, because of the thickness of this stencil, I'm going to aim, hopefully different, up and down. Okay, because it's thick. If it was as thin as Drew's, it would be different. So you want to air dry it, and then carefully, pull the stencil. I'm pushing real hard here. Pull the stencil away. There we go. I like that. I think we got what we're looking for. If you look at that, it's pretty good. It might be, oh boy, it might be a little bit bigger than the one in the photograph. But isn't that something? You could do all the tests you want, but it's not the one next to it. So I have to go with this one, and that's fine. I mean, pupils get bigger and smaller, and so I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to go to the smaller one, and I'm going to, having the little drawing there was just a test to make me put it in the right spot. Because if I took the black and white copy, which is right here, and I just cut out around that to use this for registration. But if I had cut out the ovals myself, they're not that good. They got to be perfect. So here we go. We're going to find that. Where are we? Right there. I'm hoping that's where it is. But the more I look at it, it looks bigger. Could that be? No, it is. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with this size. I think I tested it before. It looks bigger. It looks like it's bigger than my line, but the pencil can't get in there either because of the thickness. So we're just going to put it in, and we can always take it out. Pump stroke, just pumping it. A little bit at a time, don't flood it. Air dry. Aim because of the thicker stencil. And just air dry it. And again, I'm doing the same thing. A little pressure up here. Pull this back out. And pull away. Yeah, I like that. It's fine. That'll work. And that's what happens too when the head's turned. One pupil, one eye will become more ellipse, and this eye will become more straight at you. Okay, so we've got that going on. Waiting for other things. If I get a little overspray on it from the buffer color, which would be, it might be transparent, I'm going to use with no white, then that's fine because I can just hit the black again if I get it on there. Okay, so I'm going to put some brown in right now. I want to get rid of a lot of the white. It's just, it helps you kind of see where you're going. This is a little bit confusing, this particular photograph. Their white is, it's like not much gray going on in there. So I might have to mix up my own a little bit. These grays are wonderful. These are all wonderful. All these soft, subtle little grays are. But then it goes to pure white, and there's no shape here. So I might have to take a little bit lighter gray than that, a white that's almost, and sculpt it a little bit more with my own discretion, my own artistic liberty, because I don't know, it looks a little bit too white. So even on the big photograph. So, and also I notice on the bigger photograph, you'll see there is a little yellow in here. It's very little. And that's interesting. It's the grays that go to yellow, and you've got, color affects things and sunlight, and this orange beak might be bringing a little bit of the yellow into light bouncing off of things and whatever. Okay, so let's get that brown into the gun. Bring my tray closer. Let me check comments here. Michael, I've been on your YouTube videos, not at the hour you go on in the morning, Michael McClung, but I've gone on and peeked at them, and I'm not watching AM videos, but I did check it out, and it's really a cool picture you're painting. I love the rusty vehicle, all the signs. I was a sign painter, so that's really cool. It's involved too, and I like how you take on challenges. That's really great. And I wish you well with your YouTube channel. Okay. One more subscriber. It might already have happened. And I've got 2,400. I had 23, like one under, 2,399. I'm looking for the 3,000 mark, and then I'll go from there. But the more I give time to the channel, the more the channel will grow, because people want to see an active channel, and mine wasn't. Health reasons and other personal reasons. Just wasn't catering to it, as people know, for the uploads. This live thing is because of YouTube being so poor right now, quality. I don't know why I erased that. I don't have to. Because I'm going to be spraying my browns in. Okay, so what brown do I want? I already mixed it. I kind of have my little notes over here. One is number 12, one is 13. And so I'm going to grab the lighter one, wherever that is. 12. What an idiot. Looks like I wrote 12 twice. That makes no sense. 12 three times. What am I doing? Really? Huh. Okay, that throws me off. What the heck was I thinking? I guess I wrote the wrong number. Okay, so this is the lighter brown. Okay, I must have wrote the wrong number. It's just it's like almost like painting by number for me. Yeah, it's the lighter. All you got to do is take the lid off and you're going to see the color is lighter. Light before dark. That's how the opaque works. You know, you got to do that. Let me get rid of that black. Oh man, you're welcome, and I'm serious too. Especially, you're. I don't know how long you've been airbrushing, but um, I've watched you do some of those cars and stuff, and you look at them, like early stage. You go, oh, it's coming along nice. I wonder how far you can take it, and I was really impressed with how far you took it. And it's like that was the blue. They were both two cars on one painting, right? I think. Anyway, yeah, you're welcome and keep going, man. The more you do it, you know, I got the bug for teaching when I left Drew Blair's class in '94. Um, I wanted to go down there and work for him. I wanted to sweep his floors, run errands. I wanted to do everything just to be around that kind of talent. And he's a great guy, too. But Carolinas is that would be a big, big move. And it wasn't something he didn't need anybody with my lesser skills at that time, especially. But it was still fun going there. Okay, so let's take the curve at the French curve here and just go over to the corner. And let's make sure we got the volume down here. And let's just dust in a little bit right here where that's a little too watery too. So if you put in too much reducer, you're going to have a problem. What I probably can do here is I could put a drop of burnt umber in there. I also have Createx has the base, which is a transparent base. I might put a drop of that in there too, actually first, without changing my value. I always say a drop and then I end up putting a gallon in. Squeeze the bottle too hard. Now I need a little paintbrush and I'll just stir this up and make sure that it will be happening. And I see, I'm going to put a little red in that without even really checking. Maybe burnt sienna and a drop of red. I'm just, now I'm taking it by my own self, not worried about a super target color. I'm doing more of an adjustment here, just looking, and I don't know how much I was paying attention to that brown anyway, but I'm going to put a little more color in it. Get it a little redder, and now I see it's gone to, that's not good. So let me put some green in there. Okay, here's a color theory. I put too much red in there, okay? So the opposite of red is green, right? I'm just going to push it back. One drop, maybe two. And that will take the red out and still get my color to be where I want it. That looks like there's enough body in there now as far as too watery. So it looks like I might be getting a new head assembly for the Micron. I'm definitely going to get a new nozzle and the needle. I've sharpened that needle too many times in the sharpen air, and it's time to get the most out of this airbrush and not have it because it's really behaving super great, but I know I can make it go one notch better. Okay, so let's get this on there. And I could put the lighter value of the feathers underneath the darker. So I don't have to worry too much about, that kind of thing. I can just, like, it's really just on the outer part, but I'm going to just kind of put it in have it underneath waving. And I can even just catch some of these edges a little bit. They're not perfectly lined up there. That's all right. Just want to see what I got. It just gives me a little bit of something to start with. But once this white goes away, I'm just going to do it light. This color cannot affect my, it can't affect the next color going on top of it. It should be fine, especially spraying it this light, because it's going to get dark, you know. But anyway, I found my lines. Now, as far as the pencil lines, if it was a transparent painting, I'd be in trouble, because the transparent paint will not really hide a line, okay? In other words, you're still going to see some lines. Some artists like that. They actually want to see a little human touch of how they went about it, and it doesn't matter. It's fine, you know. But if you're trying to do it another way, then you do what you're doing, you know. So I'll go on here. Let's see. I can always move this baby over more. Put that test piece right up there. And now I'm going to just demonstrate the pencil line thing. Okay. So we take a pencil and we do a line right here. Okay. I'll do a little bigger. And I'll also go lighter with the pencil line and really dark right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take that brown and it's opaque. I hope it's got enough body to it, or it'll make a fool out of me. No, it should be fine. This paint is mixed to what I want it to be when it's sprayed full, you know, meaning 100%. So like if I just put that over there, if this was transparent, that's what you're going to get. You're going to still see the line as you go through, you know, painting, and you'll be like, man. Hello, Brian Moore. How are you today? So there's the pencil line, and I'm going to just go back to it, and I'm going to pump in a little more paint right on top of it. Transparent will not hide that pencil line. This brown cannot get any darker than when you see me spray this till the line goes away. That's how I mixed it. And it's almost there. Now the outer ring will be, like if you do a circle, the outer, the haze around it will be lighter. It'll be like, you know, but where you're putting it at 100, that pencil line is gone just about. I'm sorry, I still see it. The thing is, I'm not getting any darker with the brown though. The brown will stay the same that I mixed. So the pencil line's gone, and if I want that brown to be right here or whatever, this is like almost black looking, that's how I mixed it to that. But the pencil line is gone. So when I come in, let's just do one little smidgen here. Let's go right here. Go right to the corner here where I don't see a lot of things going on. Just I want to line these up a little better. And I'm going to go right, tilt it a little more. There we go. I think that should do. Okay. And I'm going to try to spray it right at the very beginning, that dark, because that's what it is, and pretty much. Pencil line's going away. Got to watch out for underspray. And it gets darker than that even. But the thing is, you get the idea. Those pencil lines are being erased by, just like that, by the paint being put in full strength. All right, so you could see the drawing is back down on top of the beak. I damaged the beak. Yesterday, when you watch these videos, whether it's Steve Leahy or Michael, McClung or anybody that's put their time into these videos. You got to remember the time that we put in before. Yesterday I got ready for this video and I was in the art room for hours trying to mix colors, trying to figure out different parts of the eye, looking for a stencil. But by the time you're done, it's like, whoa, it's a lot of work, especially when you're trying to do a presentation. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work, even if you guys weren't watching. Maybe I would just maybe I'd mix one color or two colors and I'd work only on here. But to make the video have some kind of substance, we've been on for 45 minutes or so, and make it last, I mix a number of colors. There's 13, 14 colors that I saw in the eagle. I don't have the whites for this video. I don't have any of that yet. But yesterday I damaged the beak. See that ugly, that's supposed to be a bright orange. And I made a mistake. And I said, I can either take that off. See that beautiful? It's kind of brown. So the more I look at it, it's not that bad of a mistake. But I got a crack in it. I lost the drawing. So I didn't know where to go. So I put the drawing down on top of it. Oh, pegs will cover. I tried repairing it with another way, with like a touch-up color, and I wasn't happy with it. I need brighter colors where they are, like right here. I need that color to show right there by my, let me get my pointer here, right there, right there. I need that above there and separated by that beautiful soft line. And there's, even when you look in the nostril, it's a brown. It's not black. There's black. Look at the brown. And it's even got depth to it. You could almost see like an edge there. And you got, but when you're working this tiny, I'm going to probably have to go a little bigger for certain projects. Doing a sunset or some little thing on here, that's easy. For me, it's easier than doing something this detailed. But look at the size of the stuff Blair, Steve Leahy is known for. Unbelievable micro. I mean, he paints on blades, razor blades. He paints paintings that are so small and in detail. And then if he goes up a little in size, you just go on his page, go on his wall and go to his website and check out his artwork. Let me show you. I was privileged to win a painting from him. He does some kind of giveaways, and my name came up last year somewhere around. This is a black and white by Steve Leahy, and it is just phenomenal. I mean, right down to the cable. This is only, 3x4? 4x3? And they're called 543s, 5 of them. He used to paint 5 of them. I don't know if he still is. And then he does the 3x4s. And right down to the packaging. It's not in a frame or anything, obviously. Look at the packaging and the name of it, safe, the date it was made, acrylic on Yupo paper, the size, his signature. What a professional. And then, of course, his website. There it is, guys. Take that down. Go on his page. Go on his YouTube videos and go on Instagram. Follow him. Especially his YouTube channel too. He wants to build that up. He's phenomenal, and what a teacher. But look at that, and that's just a black and white. You know what I mean? But look at the detail and the care and attention to the little people, that are microscopic. So anyway, I won that, and I'm very, very honored to have gotten that, or privileged, or whatever a winner is called. So anyway, thank you, Steve, again for that wonderful painting. Oh yeah, you got 2 of them, Brian. Wow. I think Honey Rivera has many, and probably Steve. Steve. Is it Steve? I know his son's Kyle, and Gary Shees. Got all these Steves. Okay, Gary Shees. I usually tag a few people, and I didn't do that tonight. But anyway, we've got 15 people on here, and glad to have you guys. If you know anybody that wants to learn, share it to your wall or whatever, and you can let them tag them in it, and they can watch it later. Okay, so the eye color is not the color that I'm going to go with, and there's a window of time, and I think I might have lost that window here. There we go. Oops, I damaged the pupil. That's what started happening yesterday. I started getting in here and erasing, and I crashed into the beak, and you can see that little hole in it right there, and I just started losing it, and I was so upset. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this off with Windex on a Q-tip. I was going to just take it all off. The drawing is on the back of this painting. The copy, the photocopy. Okay, so it's flipped backwards. So I could bring that around. Let's just do that so you guys can see the newbies, right? It is traced down. Okay, traced down means the image is on the copy, and then you just put the line work in and trace it down with the graphite paper in between the sheet. And this is registered. It will fall in place pretty much. You got to be careful of a little shifting. And somebody that says, well, can't you draw? Well, I can draw, and I didn't know anything about projectors or anything back in the day. I was a sign painter, and I would draw on a piece of paper, say a cartoon character, and then paint it on the truck. Had to do it twice, so you use the old pounce method with the powder to get the transfer. But the drawings are all, something I've done first. The learning to draw was just natural. I didn't paint for years. So I can draw, but the thing is, when you're doing something like a photograph and you're trying to mimic every little thing, then you've got to have a really good, layout. And if you want to draw it freehand, good, but then make a photocopy of your drawing so that you can possibly use stencils from it. So whatever works, right? Okay, so let's see. What am I going to work on now? I'm going to touch up that eye a little more. Before I do that, though, I'll go back to the brown. Go over here. Okay. Let's see. How's it over in the corner there? Let's go down here. Now this is a little slippery because it slides around on there, and it can scratch too, especially when it's in the wet stage. Meaning when whatever I sprayed today can be very, very worked. Like say you wanted to put a line in here. See that little line? I'll do a darker one. It's workable, even if it's sprayed heavier. Let's go into the dark area. There, see? So it really has a window of time that allows you to do little things like that, which I have to cover. I put too many in, you get carried away. Sometimes you pull and you get too far. So this is just a wooden dowel that works with the synthetic paper. This does not work on the clay board. That's another reason why I'm switching over to the to this. But this yellow's been on there since last night, so I can't really work that off there, that right there. It's not coming off at all because it dries. It dries and becomes hardened. And then this I can already see it. This is hooked. This blade is hooked. It's ruined. It's no good. It's good for a straight cut, cutting out something, but you cannot go in there and do anything on the painting because it will damage the paper, this synthetic paper, or it will damage the clay board. And those cuts, if they're deep enough, they're there permanently, and they're ugly. I mean, you can paint and hide them as far as that, but as far as being there, up close, you could see it. So now I'm using the flat side of the blade, and I can slide on the paper. I can feel it. And I'm removing. I'm not going to try to do zoom because when I do zoom, guys, it goes all crazy. I'm going to bring the whole lamp in closer. I'm going to bring the arm in closer. Okay, that should be my zoom right there. There we go. So right in here, this is intricate stuff when you get like that. Now, I would normally, and I can do that because she's on a piece of individual paper, Bristol board or watercolor paper. So this is how I like to work. I like turning my painting. Okay, so let's get rid of this. I like when I draw a cartoon, I like it on a clipboard, and I like it on my lap, and I can turn it. And if you go on, I think I might have it on my YouTube channel. I did like just a little Yosemite Sam inking in, and yeah, it was like I was just spinning it around to the curve, the natural curve of my hand, the way it goes. The focus goes in and out. You go right up to it. You cannot do that with an eraser. You'll ruin it like I did there yesterday. Look at that little damage there. But opaque paint can hide that. Transparent, that you won't catch up with the hole. It'll be a lighter area. So there's a real great advantage to doing the opaques. The opaques will correct anything because they just are solid covering colors. So I'm just taking the flat side of the blade. I feel no resistance. I'm not feeling it skipping, or I can even go after that pencil line a little. Watch this. There it goes. As long as I feel, and you can't go different directions. Like I can't go this way with this blade. It'll skip. It wants to go in one direction most of the time. And you'll know if you start doing it this way, then and it's skipping, then you flip it and go the other way. Turn your picture if it's not too big. And right in here, a little bit of the lead the graphite's still there. It'll take the graphite off too. Got a little too crazy with the graphite paper. Let's just take it right out of here. As opposed to trying to erase that. One more time right here. Natural curve of your hand, right? Now that's nice and clean, okay? That's nice and clean there. Now this feels like a photograph. This color is that color. That's what you'll learn if you get Drew's Classroom in a Box color theory, because he'll show you how to do it. And it's not easy. You got to go through a lot of times of mixing. And if you're willing, with color correct lighting, you can't do it without it, and learning the style of what he's going to tell you. Do everything he says, just like any teacher, but especially with Drew's theory, his buffer theory, do everything he says. If he says, you know, here's what encouraged me, because I've been to his class so many times, and I wasn't getting the color theory too much, because when you go to a class, it's like, ugh, you know, you got to go home in a week and 4 days or whatever. And I wasn't getting it all. I wasn't understanding it. And buying the Classroom in a Box, it's like he's right here in my house. Grumpy, I have anxiety too. Hey, yeah, join the club. What do you got anxiety about? Painting will help you. Just don't put too much expectation on your painting or the outcome. Yeah, relax, have fun, and it's a diversion. Any hobby or professional, in my case, I got to make a living, but this is a diversion. Painting or photography, you get lost in that world and your anxiety will drop, especially if you ride a little bicycle or indoor bike and you do breathing techniques. Everybody knows over the years, they've seen my hands tremor. It just comes with the turf. This is the model that came from heaven that God made. I don't know. I've got low blood sugar and things to deal with. And I am getting older, and I don't like crooked. And I'm having little problems with more shaking. I got a little joke here. It's stupid, but I got my eyes fixed. You know, I had floaters, really bad floaters, and for a while I wasn't painting, 8 months, right? And then about a year ago, back in the summer of 24, I was fortunate enough to get the what do you call them, cataracts out of my eyes, and it's like got Rodney Dangerfield. Oh yeah, they get the cataracts out, and now I can see my floaters better. I tell you, I can't get no respect. I can't do him. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, I do see the floaters are like really bad lately, and I have this really sharp vision, and now I have to work around that, and that gives you anxiety. You know, getting older gives you anxiety. But anyway, this is a great diversion, painting. And I play the guitar for myself, for fun. And that takes me away. As soon as you're engaging your brain in something you enjoy, phew, it's wonderful. Okay, so what am I going to work on next? My damaged eye. Let's see, I gotta study these feathers a little bit closer. I'm happy with the background. I'm gonna go to the big guy. Oh boy, look at those little dudes. Now they have to be thought out. Not thawed out, thought out. And this. Time to call Drew. Hey Drew, if you're watching or you check this later, can you make us a stencil for that? I'm going to actually ask him if he can, because he wants ideas. You know, he has a stencil to do a tree, eyebrows, you name it. And I need feathers, because if I go in here with my shaky hand and I start putting in individual lines that are that's pretty good, pretty steady, but it's going off a little bit like that. That's, you know, that in itself is, it's fine after a while, but it's not perfect. Whoops, right there. So to have a stencil that would do those feathers would be wonderful for me, because I'm actually going to be honest with you. I'm confused on, why is this? I got to turn this. Okay. I'm a little confused on how to go about certain parts of this painting, you know? Like, okay, I can't scratch those out because they're a painted color. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get some kind of white paint and leave the brown that's underneath that. I understand that. But look at this. I mean, come on, look at that. The smaller photograph doesn't show as much detail, and you can option out and you could cheat a little and say, well, that's out of focus. And people won't know if they don't see the original photograph. But I want to nail all that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here and show you how I'm going to get rid of some of the ugly scratch marks that I pulled too many. Just getting rid of that brown. Sometimes a video, a lot won't get done in this, you know, in the video. If you're working on photorealism and you're trying to do all the little texture areas, it takes time. That's why I like doing like the landscape or flames and stuff like that. An apple, you know, an object, because you guys will see something move along quicker. Even a portrait, right, to a degree, could especially black and white, could move along, you know, whether it's a pet portrait or a person. But this can be very tedious and slow. And it's, yeah, Drew's my teacher for life, so. And I want to talk about him because we all have styles that we like. If you guys don't want to hear, you know, about Drew Blair so much, I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's my style, and I didn't know a person can paint. I was looking at some of his work online, on up close, a photograph, and zoomed in on things, and I was like, no, he didn't do that. He painted a shirt on his cousin. I think his cousin's name is Val, and he painted the portrait. and it's somewhere to be seen in his portfolio, but I was looking at the flannel shirt and I zoomed in on it. Like, I mean, I zoomed in on it like that, you know. And I saw a shirt that was fuzzy. It had fuzzies all over it. It was breathtakingly real, to the point where I was like, it makes you want to give up if you're going for that style. But I said, after I met him and I saw that kind of detail, that's what I love, and that's what I'm going to go for till I, leave this rock. And if I can get close, if I can get closer, I'm enjoying it. That's the thing. I love it. So, yeah, light to dark. You can go dark to light or light to dark with transparents. Okay, I got to wet my whistle. It's just water, guys. I gave up drinking when I was 28 because drinking kind of owned me. And it was just beer. I wasn't one of those drinkers that liked all those hard liquor and all that stuff. Yeah, it was like potato chips. Couldn't put them down. Ate too many. And family comes first, and so much better being sober. But that was the youthful, crazy days of, and then talk about anxiety. You have something to drink and it calms you down, but then it gives you a problem the next day. Okay, so we're going to go to the green. In other words, it's like a trade-off. They say if the hangover came right as you drank, nobody would drink. Yeah, I don't miss those days. Okay, so let's go over to here. And this one is going the wrong way. So I'm just going to take the shield. It's not even going the right way, so I'm going to get rid of it. I tried to do it freehand and I sent it outward. And just kind of paint over it like that. You can leave it a light version of it, like it's like back there. You can probably do that to all these guys. Just mist over them a little bit. Knock them back. The darkness is next to it. I don't want to lose that nice circular thing going on. It's very subtle, but in person it looks better than on here. Boy, that's dark. Man, that gets dark. Okay. So there's a lousy one there, so I'll just mist over it. Knock it back. Okay. So this one here, I know it's little stuff that I'm doing here, but looking for my stencil. Usually they hit the floor because they're on my lap and then they fall, or they land in the drawer here. All right, where'd it go? Never fails. Okay, I got the little guy. This is even smaller. This has a rough texture though on the edge. It has organic edge, but you can come up to this. Whoops, sorry guys. You can come up to, like this one. That's good. That's there. So I'm just gonna hit a little bit on the stencil and make sure it doesn't have that little tail off of it. All I'm doing is just getting rid of ugly ones. Here's a scratch. I'm just going to mist over that. Okay. Probably with a lighter color I should. I don't want to lose all this over here. Okay. Yeah, I'll come back at that with the white. And I'm going to try it. I don't know if this is considered fresh paint, but I'm going to try to pull or push this one right about here out because that's too high up. It's even with that. Actually, it's right here. It's right where I put it, but it goes this way. It's too fat, and that's all right because I can come in, but I'm going to mix a lighter green. I can come in and kill that edge. If I hit that right there, and then go back to this side and just reshape it. So even though and now I scratched the new paint, so be careful with that. Clean this up with the eraser, I think. I'm not going to get near him. So I'm thinking of doing over the beak. I'm thinking about it. That's one of the most outstanding parts of him. It looks like it's plastic. You know, this is like so. So I lost my colors somewhere in there. I lost some of my colors. Got dirty looking. Just making sure my gun is clean. Man, it doesn't take much to get that ugly color. Okay. He's got that eagle eye looking right at us, right? All right, so I'm going to try to go back in here. I'm going to take my orangier color and I'm going to try to kick it up. I have very little paint. I have nothing in there really, just a little bit there. So a little bit of base. I don't like to use that too much, but I'm going to try to salvage this beak with touching up, and who cares? You know, it's a good thing to practice on, right? You make a mistake, and like one of the comments was, don't worry, have fun. You know, that's the whole thing. Even though I'm doing a demo, you guys can learn a lot when the artist that's teaching makes a mistake. It's like, well, how's he going to get around that? That's educational. And then hopefully I can get around it. Yeah, my color, that original color, is ruined. So if I try to spray that in there again to kick it up a notch, it's not there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, and we get a little yellow right in the color cup, meaning my mixing cup. And I'm going to put, so I put a drop of yellow in there. It's real bright. And I'm going to stir it around. And I'm going to see if I can get this color to come up to a little bit more saturated, more out towards the edge of the wheel. You know, a little more. I'm going to go one more time with this yellow. That's what the drop looks like. It just explodes in the cup. And this is not how I make my colors. I don't make them like while we're on the video here. I'm gonna put orange in it. Just because I'm trying to experiment here. This is the color it's supposed to be. And you can see it got messed up. See that? Wow. Did I lose it or what? Okay, let's see what happens. So I kicked that color up. Let me get a little touch-up area going. Bear with me here because it might get interesting, or it just might not work, but we're going to see. Okay, so we got an ugly color. You could see the original color I made was right on. You could see it here. Pretty much, you know, whoa. You could see it had more color in it, much prettier. That got a little too brown. So first thing I need to do is, I don't think spraying on top of that dark is going to do anything. It's just going to shift. So I'm going to put a little correction in there. And I'm just working off to the side here, trying to mix up a little color for adjusting this. Hopefully I can do it. Okay, I need there it is. Man, things move around and it's like you think they're gone forever. Here we go. I'm just going to kind of freehand it in. I'm going after that color and I'm whiting it out a little bit with an adjustment to counterattack the ugly blue that could happen. All right, so I'll try that, see what we got. And this is going to be very light in there. So I'm trying to fix what I got. Okay, there's going to be a little lighter area there. And it's an opaque color, so it will kill those pencil lines. So we're trying to fix something that's ugly and ruined. That's the edge of the beak. It kind of has a yellow kind of shell to it. Okay, I'm going to dust this in a little more. There's a pencil line. And hope for the best. There's a lousy area over there. I believe I can fix it. I might not be so successful on camera. Nope. I need a smooth. The big one will work. Somewhere in there, I can put that edge back in. Right there, right in that area. I'm air drying it a little bit. Okay. So it's just touch-ups. This is a prettier yellow up in here. We can see if we can just get it ready for it. I'll just work on this area for now, though. Hope you guys can see it. Okay. And I'm taking things I've learned from, the class and all, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I mastered it all, I can make a mistake again right in front of you because there's a thing called the blue shift. And you have to just counterattack it, not with pure white, you know. You have to have that um, color theory knowledge to say, you know. Okay, so a little bit of cleaner in there, a little bit. Let's see what we got. Like I said, I added a little more color to this. I don't have a lot of paint, and I'm not going to mix up new colors right now. I might have gotten more closer to this color over here. There it is. That looks better. But this orangey color, I don't think I've got it down. Yeah, it's too yellow. That's all right, though. You can see how I could fix things if I stay with it. So this is opaque. I'm just taking my time. I might be able to get away with it here because it's kind of the same color going back on it. It's a little more yellow. All right, so I've got to put more, I made this color before, so I don't like the idea of mixing this right now, but I'm going to try it. Experiment. So I'm putting a little orange into my yellow color, the one that I originally had. It already has the opposites in it. It already has, I could tell you this much. Ooh, where is my lid? Okay, so it has like, yeah, right here it is. This is just for me, my own little notes. It has orange in it. Yeah, that's the, oh, right. It has white in it. That buffers it, keeps it from being transparent. And it lightens it because it had to be lightened. It has yellow, violet. See the dot? The dot means a speckle. Violet is the opposite of yellow, and it will pull, like when I do sunsets, it's not the yellow out of the bottle. It will look awful, unless you're going for abstract and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Michael, that is what it is. But how much? That's where I gotta. Anyway, violet, burnt sienna. Really? There's burnt sienna in there? Burnt umber. How would I know that? Well, you have to. That's where. That's where the course comes in, and the color wheels and all those things that add up to make you know with your own eyes. You'll see it. I don't have enough color in there. Okay, we're going to try one more drop of the reducer. Dang, I don't think I have enough. We'll try. Don't need a lot, but if it's too watery, it's not going to work. Testing it on the side. It's still in the yellow family. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Where's the orange? Nope. It's not enough color. Okay. I mean, if I could start tinting it a little bit, it might help, but it's not the orange color. So it's not working because it's not, I can't make that color quick. I have to make it carefully. So that looks terrible, that color. And it's also up in here, the yellow, and the orangey yellow and all that. But so I ran out of color, and this, I don't think I'm going to have to do, I can get this beak to come back, but that was if I had that mixed color, I would have sprayed it on there and it wouldn't have done that, which is ugly. So I'm going to Because if I'll test an experiment right now. So if I take orange out of the bottle, this will show you how it won't work. Okay. Maybe it will work because I'll do it real controlling. And looking at it carefully. And I have to be careful because I'm using a transparent here. And for right now, it's better, but it's getting a little saturated, a little too bright. And let's try. Let's see. No, that's not a good curve. I need a bigger curve. No, I need my little shield. All kinds of shields. Now this isn't obviously Drew Blair shield. But this is thin, and this is thinner than like paper. This is like thinner. So I could find a shape that will fit, maybe, right? That's too, I got to get into a bigger area. There we go. It'll take part of it. And that worked. That worked there. So we are coming back a little bit, but I could see I've got some serious touching up to do. Too much air. I was blowing out color before and I forgot. All right, freehand. I'm going to get in here. I'm going to try to move some color on the very bottom of the beak. It's looking brown on my cell phone. Guys, is it looking orange to you? Yeah, you can use, that's interesting, Brian, that you said that. You can use the blue shift to your advantage where it's not going to hurt you, but it's going to actually help you. And that's cool. Like you said with the skulls, it makes them more, you know, whatever you said there, spooky looking. Yeah, it can make like a very dead skin kind of thing, right? I'm just spraying mostly on the stencil and just take my chance here and see what happens right there. Okay. So does that look brown to you guys, or does it look more orangey? Because it looks orange and almost acceptable to me from here. Like I said, I'm using transparents right out of the bottle, mixed on a base of, it's a little saturated, but the thing is it's something to look at. I'm going to do that again. Because obviously, look what the color really looks like. Let's slide this over. Look at that color. Yeah. But look what it looks like when you spray it light. Light to dark. You can get some beautiful stuff out of that. Having said that, though, I'm trying to get to the yellow. Okay. So touching up is part of the game. Or fixing mistakes. It's definitely part of the game. Okay, let's try some yellow. Let's just tint what we already have here. That's the touch-up, the whitish area. We want to just sprinkle a little yellow back in there. Using, that's a little saturated, but it works. And over here, and up in here, it's going to be, I got to get rid of this pen. That's too bright. That doesn't work there. But on top of the other color, it does work. Up, too bright. I sprayed it a little too heavy. But So it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to stare at it and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to go, okay. Or it's going to be, I don't like it. There's no white paint here yet. I can protect them with the new blue tape, purple tape. This does not rip things up. I got this from Drew. He's carrying it now. It's called Deltec. Deltec. And it won't rip paper. But say I want to do, say I want to get in here, and I can always cut a little curve on this, and I want to protect the eyes, but round, not with an edge like that. You can see through it. I don't really want to cut on there, but you can protect the eyes, both eyes. Then I can come in and I could put a piece of tape here, kind of like I'm doing Frisket. Put it right here, like that. Whoops. And I could cut that curve, take this out, and have everything protected, and then just take my my Q-tip or soft little cloth and just go and take this right off and remove it. Okay. And then after I've got enough room down here where I could do a little demo of that. I don't care if I take that little bottom piece out, but you don't want to bring over a saturated, you know, at least on clayboard I did this. Synthetic paper, gone. Gone. Dry it. I mean, I don't know if the Windex is good or bad for it, but the thing is, you know, I could always talk to Drew about it too, but I'm doing it right now. I can spray over that. So yeah, so that's how I can remove it. And look at the drawing still stayed there for the most part. But if I lose the drawing, let's go more completely. The drawing is gone now at the bottom. I could take my picture, which is already hinged on the back, bring it around, and take the whole beak out and put it back in again, lined up perfectly with my thing. And the more I'm looking at it in person, like, I don't know, did anybody answer me? Windex is my airbrush's best friend. Yeah, I didn't get those clear post notes yet, but I'll tell you what, this stuff here, say I don't want to cut on the board. Okay, so you could see the eye. You can come back in here, or you could get your template. Okay, so circles are really, you know, they're challenging. I used to have a plotter in the sign business, so I could have made a million of these cutouts, right? So you can come in here and get a real sharp pencil point. I'm just demonstrating. Take this and bring this over. Oops, guys, swing in there. I'm gonna remember that I could scratch that. My fingernails. And there it is, guys. The perfect circle, right? And then my cutting mat is right above. I'll just put that there and show you it right there. I can cut right into that and cut out the shape. So that, you know, the more I'm going to look at this, did anybody answer me about, is this orange looking like brown? Like through my cell phone, it looks very brown, but in person, it looks like what I want to see. It looks like the photograph color almost. And it's got a little less saturation, so we could go with okay, so we're going to go with a little more white here. Give me a second, guys. Okay, I'm going to try for some highlights, see if we can do anything with that. Man, a dirty airbrush can really mess up your, you spray and you think you're going to spray out the color you just put in the cup and it's got dirt inside the airbrush still. Let me flush this better. And with this new reducer, I'm hardly going after tip dry because it's not interfering with me. And I really should go after it more, but it really doesn't seem to be building up with the 40-21. Okay. So I'm going to take that highlight color, blink. Okay, guys, we're going to try this in this angle. I don't need this. This doesn't have to be there. See, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't damage your painting or anything. Okay, so I'm going to try to get my... First, I got to put a little dot somewhere. There we go. There's a highlight there like that. And then it goes to a dot right there. I like being straight on, so I'm not straight on, so I gotta kind of get in your way a little bit. Now the tip dry will be more bad. Okay, that's like a highlight right there. And it's really in the picture too, just like that. And then up here, there's a lot of white. You could put it right in. It's a lot, so I gotta just kind of second coat it, etc. It's kind of making weird little lines. Then I could put white over. This is not a pure white. This is got a little bit of the orange in it. Okay, that's making me happy. And there's a nice soft that. And then this little flipping out part of the beak here. Whoops, I missed. Go right, a little lower. There we go. It's like a ledge that's curling over on them. I gotta put colors back on top, but okay. I'm gonna go back to this and put my white in here now. Terry Hill silent air compressor. Yeah. Most likely, I mean, I don't know. Nobody's answering me as far as, Bill, I said orange to the red side, but I'm looking on a brand new TV. Orange, I said, okay, indexes. Bill, I said orange to the red side. Orange to the red side? I'm not sure what you mean on a brand new. All I know is what I'm seeing on my cell phone, and I have a brand new cell phone from my son. I'm seeing brown, and I'm seeing in the real picture, I'm seeing it more like that. It is a brownish kind of thing going on. So I'm almost like getting it back to where I want it. But I don't like what I see in what you guys are seeing. I don't understand that. But now I'm going to get just a pure white in the airbrush. Remember, the white on there is not pure white. It's an off-white to counterattack the blue shift. And it happens on the warm colors really bad. Just try to touch up a dark area with white, and you get like a blue shift right here. You'll get a horrible blue. You can't touch up. Well, that had orange in it, so that didn't really show you. Just blowing the color out of the throat of the gun, and I'm just taking the white. This is a brand new bottle. Put an order in at Drew's, and the 2-ounce bottle, and it is lovely. It's so, you don't want to reduce it because it's so ready to go. But I got a bottle that came across the country, from coast, and it was as thick as molasses. It's still here, and it's a 16-ouncer or 8-ounce, sorry. And I'm like, I got to put reducer in it to use it. Okay, so let's get back in here real tight. I know I'm blocking it a little bit. I need more air. And you see the white now on top of the other color. Now it's brighter. It's a brighter white. It looks a little bit overkill right now, but that's okay because now I got a little bit of the white right here. Dip dry. Remember, it's white. Yeah, I got to definitely get that new needle and the new nozzle thing going. There's no doubt about it. Now I'm going to come back with, oh boy, I hate to waste that white. I put too much white in it. But I can't take that white now from that color cup and pour that back. I'm trying to show it to you. I can't pour that back. It's a pretty good amount into the bottle. It's contaminated and it will ruin my white. So I gotta waste it. I put way too much in, and that's just the way it goes. You don't want to contaminate. If you have a pure color in a nice clean color cup, say violet, right out of the bottle, you can put it back. But if you have a mixture in there, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Because you're going to not have the pure violet anymore. You've changed it, and you made your bottle not be accurate anymore for targeting colors. Okay, so now I want, what do I want? I want a little bit of number, do I have 4? Is that 4? That was probably 4, right? Yeah. All right, so let's see what I got in the 3 family. Yeah, they're all empty. I didn't prepare the yellows for this. They are very, very almost gone. And yeah, so I could probably take this orangey color here if I can get any out. Nope, can't. Okay, I could quiet down that highlight by shading back over it. But if I have any yellow, I'll take any yellow at this point. That's shot out. 2, number 2. Ooh, 2. I have a lot of 2. But 2 is not the number. But if I spray it light, I might get what I want. What I want is to, because the airbrush can dust colors in, right? I want to be able to put some color back over the highlight a little, knocking the highlight, make the highlight thinner. So you could take the shield like this, and you can make that highlight a little thinner. Oh, too much. Oh. And it starts to fill in. That color is working for what it's worth. A little bit. Trying to kill a pencil line too at the same time. It's coming back a little bit. Now I'm just going to mist over this a little bit, just a little bit, knock it back into the picture, and it's still acting like a white. That worked out good though, because it's really not pure white edge there. Don't ask me, Bill. Okay, I won't ask you. But is somebody else, Bill, you're silent? Air sounds almost as quiet as my California Air Tools. Yeah, this silent air compressor is wonderful. And it is the Turry Hill model. I got it, I think I got it for $900 back in the day. Calling around, and I called around and I said, my price, and then I called another place. I'm not going to mention names, but I can tell you where I bought it. I bought it at Bear Air, I think. Right after Steve Leahy obviously wasn't working there anymore. So he could have been my salesman, but he wasn't. He wasn't there. But I got it. It was going for like 1,100, 1,200, and then maybe they would negotiate a little. Bear Air got me around 900. Told a couple other companies. They weren't interested in meeting that price, and I went with Bear Air. Of course, the shipping and all, but $900. I mean, that was wonderful deal. That was years ago. That was 2010, I think. And little did I know the disastrous world I was going to fall into, losing my business and all that. To be able to hang on to that compressor, to be able to have it right here next to me, having to start over in my 60s, and now I'm 70. I'm not even starting over. I don't have a business. It's just like, oh boy. But I have what I have. I have the one from the school, which is the double motor. I have that one still. And I have the option of possibly selling that one to maybe get something else, not another compressor, but something else that would be nice. This is the wrong color, so I'm just racing it out because I was demonstrating with the yellow, and that's a horrible, dirty graphite. So I got to erase the pencil onto, clean paper to get a clean eraser, and then you can get that out of there. Get that out really bad, But I'm going to take this out because this will need the wet paint next week when I work on it. This will need the wet paint, or even if I work on it later. Wet paint meaning it's got a window. I don't know how long the window is. Createx designed it in line with what Drew wanted. They worked with him. That's why his name's on the bottle of the illustration colors, his buffer theory thing. And they designed it to say, what can we do? What do we need? And what Drew wanted was he wanted a window of time to where he was able to erase easier, much easier, and then come back in later and have it more resilient. And then you have the texture shields where you have a shield that's texture, and you don't have to worry about that kind of a scenario. See, now I'm breaking into here and making little texture marks that will be in the picture. So that is right in here. You can see the feathers are very small there, and they're almost like a brown, and that will be in there. So I want to remove some of this still for when I attack this with the correct colors and mixtures. And I can go right to about there, and then just put some edge here and get this out, because it has to be the champagne-y color in this area. That's where the feathers are. So it takes a lot to understand and get this to be where you want it. There's a dirty eraser. I turned the eraser and I cleaned that edge up. But one slip and I could ruin that, and I still see a pencil line in there I don't like. I can't erase that out, but I can spray it out. Okay, so this is going to go uphill like that, so I can kind of just chop in at that a little bit more and clean that up, taking a nice soft eraser and maybe really cleaning it up better, like really get it to be clean to receive, yeah, to receive what it needs. And then what I do when the video's over or when my painting session's over, I will come back in there. I will pop in the room, say we're watching a movie, and I'll come back and I'll just turn on the art room light and I'll stare at it and I'll go, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought. Or I don't like that. I missed something, you know. And having fresh eyes later is the key. So this needs to be a yellow. This I'm starting to be happy with. I don't know how it's looking to you guys. I can go after that little guy with the brown. So let me, this is not brown in there right now. I'm just seeing how my aim is. Okay. I will take the chance. Why not? Life is short. You got to take the chance. Drew had a very wonderful saying to his, and it was, paint with impunity. We were talking about anxiety before, right? And I was like, well, what does that mean? You know, get the dictionary out. But he explained it, and it was basically paint without fear. Because when you're using the opaques, you could literally, like he did, he wrote his name on a portrait, right, with the color. And he wrote Drew Blair. And then he took the same color later and sprayed the flesh tone right over it. And so in other words, because of this type of style that this is, paint not fearing, because you can fix it. You can fix it as opposed to transparent. And you can fix transparent with erasing techniques and other ways. Look at that steady hand, guys. How about that? But I get it done. It's just something I have to go through. I see more, almost a blacker color in there, but it's got to start somewhere. I should be using a stencil here probably. Cut out the little shape, but let me try it. Test it when something not coming out. Tip tries stopping it. Trying to put a dot. There we go. Wow. What a shaky hand. Nothing new to me. Okay. So go back down here and we can see that this brown will cover that. Right up. And just get a little more browns in there. Yeah, I could do that. if I get my right stencil going again. Sorry, shaking cameras. So I'll look at this later and I'll make a decision, and I will tell you if I did it over. I mean, if I did it over, you're going to know it because everything will be pure. And but I'll look at it. My wife will look at it. She's an artist too, and we'll critique it and come back at it with fresh eyes. Right, the old saying. That really, really helps, big time. Fresh eyes. Just getting it ready to look at how I'm going to go about the different feathers that are in here. Far away, foggy, soft, overlap, gradation kind of thinking. Just want something in there for now. I have to decide how much detail I want to show. If I'm being lazy, I don't have to show any detail. It's my painting. Let's look at one feather and see how they're going here. All right, so they have a little, if I'm looking at the big boy here, look at the small one because it's the same size. They have a little thing going on. This isn't even the brown, even. This brown is the lighter brown. But they have like, I'm going to try the dowel. I'm not sure. I have to see. They have a little thing going on right here. See how it comes right off? And right here. It's like the tip. And then the next feather next to it would be that. Then you knock it back into the picture with the color so that you can still see it. You can hide the ugliness of the, there's like weird things going on down in there. And so where are we at? We're at 2 hours. I'm going to end the video by fixing that. What I mean by fixing it is coming at it from two sides. So tonight was a lot of, little tiny areas of adjustment. Once we get into the building of his white feathers and start seeing the shadows, then things start to come together. Because color interacts with color. So the bottom line is a color will look wrong until you put another color next to it. If you ever go on YouTube and look for the cube, it looks like a Rubik's cube, but it's not. It's many tiles, and so it's a crazy shaped, like this kind of. Whoops, I don't have the room there, so let me get a piece of paper. Gotta find it, or do we have it here? Where can I do it? All right, I have a grease pencil. I'll use this. No, I have a piece of paper right here. Okay, so you go on YouTube and look up the cube. Okay, so it's kind of like this shape. Gesture drawing here, right? It's just a cube like that. It's more squared off. And when you see it, you're going to see tiles of color. Like one will be up here, and there'll be a brown. This will be brown, say. And then you'll look on the side and you'll see the same thing. And they're going to say, they're next to other colors. And this brown is dark and this brown looks orange. It's like, no way are they the same. But then if you get a little piece of paper and block out if maybe even a tracing paper, and get the shapes and block them out and look at just them without all the other colors. They're identical. That's the interaction of color. I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough, but try to find that cube and just go cube color theory, something like that on YouTube. It's mind blowing because you'll say, no way is that the same orange or brown. One is orange. It's almost like this difference, but not that dark of a brown. And you'll be like, there's no way that is that color. And then you'll find out it is. It's the exact color. Very fun science kind of thing. So I'm going to get the green. Where's my green? And this is the last thing we'll work on. I was going to cut the video short because I got limited things I'm touching up here and doing this and that. But hopefully there's enough in here to show you later on if you look at it later, because you don't have to watch the whole video. You can look at parts of it. So you could come in here and you could take the top off of that right there. You just use a pump stroke, clean up that little shape. And now we've got a better looking line that I did not execute too well. And now it's a curvy thing. It got darker next to the bird. We can do that down here too, though. Kind of just work it up. And then you could just do the opposite side. You would go like that. And then you just clean up that little bit. And all of a sudden you got a beautiful feather that you didn't execute good because you pulled the dowel wrong. And you can do that to all your things. So that would be like on a piece of paper. Basically, you're coming in on both angles. So you got, let's just do it this way. Okay, you got that. Now you want to sharpen this end up. But take that down in size. Take that down to smaller stuff. I mean, microscopic stuff. Let's just do a littler one. And you could go on and on and on. So when I paint fur, you start getting into the freehand with this kind of thing. Feather strokes are what you're going to do most of your work with. Because whether you're doing an eye, just put a pupil there for a minute, you're going to taper. You're going to even paint into a tapered area, like right in here. And you're kind of using little feather strokes to execute your eyes. Just do this quick. And that's it. You're going to get, then when you've got a hard edge or something that's really needing, just look at your edges. And then you're going to grab the stencil that you have, a circle template or what have you, which I can't find at the moment. Can't find everything I want, which is right here, is not here. But I might as well show you the hair thing one more time for anybody that was looking at the earlier part of the video. So if you open this up and you spray, you're going to get that line, okay? Now imagine you want a finer line. Don't open it hardly at all. Let's try this. I mean, guys, that is like very, very, imagine eyelashes or really more for hair. Let's just say the hair strand starts here and it starts to go away. So you spray harder here and less in the middle, and you start getting an out of focus. Where did it go? I didn't see it. You start getting an out of focus area, like right here, and then darker here. And it goes like, so a piece of grass, like you're painting grass, anything. So imagine doing, a plant or something, but you want to perfect. I know we're past 2 hours. You want You want to perfect your edges so that if this did have a little dagger stroke coming off of it, the pupil, little guy, and then you can go in and pull the gun away further, and you'll get like more realism in that way. And usually these are very dark up here. You even have like shadows across them like that and that kind of stuff, you know. But you need these strokes. Now I got a lot of air pressure. You need the dagger stroke. But that's almost like that, right? You're getting real close. Micron. The micron can do better than that even. But there's one. I want a nozzle and a needle. I need it. I just believe it will be better. And then shading, you know, like soft feather strokes, you know. Just keep working it and do a little eyebrow here. You can see the hairs, and then you have to work them. You have to kind of shade into them and make the stencil go away. Let's try it one more time up here though. See the hairs. And then you're going to come in and look at the photograph, and you're going to say, well, this is a cluster. Tip dry. This is a cluster right here. So this is all connected right here. So you would just come in and do that. And then you would kill some areas that are not every little stencil thing. Up here it might be a little, and over here it might go like this, fog out of focus. So you have to kill the stencil, hide the stencil, and then the flesh tone can go around it. Of course, this is the Grinch, but you get the idea. But you need, one last thing, you need to practice dots for the beginner. You need to practice trailing. See, that means I've got paint coming out when I don't want it to. So do your drills to the beginners and practice dots, you know, practice connecting. Let's do bigger dots. This is what we did with the t-shirts. You know, and then you could just do rows of them and keep the thing. It's not so much making it not wiggle. When you're painting a t-shirt, you're using your whole body. You're standing up. I'm sitting down here and not swinging the airbrush. But if you go around quick enough, you might be able to make a perfect circle. Like that one's getting better. It's speed a lot of times with the thing. You can blow the airbrush out that way. There's the feather stroke. We'll end with this. Feather stroke and dagger stroke. So one more little thing of paint. Where's my green? Is that my green? That's brown. It doesn't matter at this point. So the dagger stroke is giant one. Just go in. That's kind of a feather stroke. Just to practice them. When it comes back around, that means it's trailing. And the feather stroke is the same thing, but it's soft. It goes to a taper. So that is what you want to practice. Just mess around, have fun, do your dots, and then get stencils and have fun, like this one. A lot of them get buried underneath where you hardly see the texture. So, all right, I'm going on and on, having fun with the airbrush. That's just it. I can't stop. I can't stop. All right, so thanks for hanging out with me. And for anybody that's still with me, let me see. I got this arrow here on comments. Nope. trying to see more comments, but it's pulling something else up. There we go. Okay, wow, lots of comments that I wasn't paying attention to. Wow. Hello, hey, Jesus, or is it, yeah, I would imagine Ramos. Ramos. Um, it works at a higher pressure than. Are you talking compressors and all? Wow. Yeah, that's just it. My hat's off to all. I'm just teaching what I know, but to all the guys out there that are pros, and if you pop on here and all, hats off to you guys. I look at all different work, and I'm just blown away. And there's this one guy, I don't remember how to pronounce his name. He paints cars. He's been to the big seminar they had. I forget what it was, but he was there. He can paint a car like I paint the little cars, and I use all kinds of stencils. I'll just get one of them here for a second. And he doesn't need any stencils. He can do freehand everything to the point of freak me out. But that's his gift. Super steady hand. Hey, how about Pinstripe Chris, right? Chris Dunlap. I mean, that guy, this is all stencil cut. But this guy would come in here, see this little highlight? He would put all that in with just freehand strokes. No, like that might be from a stencil, not sure. This got all dirt on it. But yeah, but the thing is, he can paint this whole car with interiors of cars with unbelievable detail, unbelievable beyond belief. His skills are over the top. I think it's Marcus Eisenhoof. I'm not sure how to say his last name. He's another one that paints a lot of interesting, like a bee or something. There's so many. Marissa Osterly. I'm not sure how to say her name. Over the top, super talented, great teacher. So there's so many people. And even if they're not teachers, and there's guys that just show their finished work, it's like, oh, I wish you would show us the steps of how you did that. So hats off to all the great artists out there. And I know I talk about my favorite all the time, but we all have our favorites and stuff and our styles. But anyway, I'll see you guys most likely next week. My live feeds are going to be mostly on Tuesdays on only YouTube. And they are going to be once in a while. Don't have a heart attack if you don't see me, unless you don't care, because that means I'm taking a break or whatever. I don't want to be owned by this. I want to at least do it twice a month, right? Something, mix it up. But there's all kinds of, stuff going on that I have to do, and it's not always easy. Even though I'm retired now, I'm a full-time caregiver helping my wife with her health issues. And so now it gets harder as you get older, because we both are getting older and it's getting harder. Lots of doctor appointments. But having said that, you guys be healthy, be safe, have fun airbrushing. God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you on the next one. Most likely next week, but we'll go from there. Okay? Good night. Have a good one.